Hi, welcome to this webinar on LinkedIn profiles. So this is how to create a profile that's going to make a big difference to your success rate on LinkedIn. So if you think you're not getting success, a lot of it will be down to your profile. So we're going to go through all the different phases of the profile and making sure that you've got a $64 million profile to get some fantastic results. If you like these webinars and also all my videos, click on subscribe and click on the notifications as well, please. And there's 1 or 2 videos coming up every week, so look forward to seeing you. Right, so for those of you who don't know what we do here at Joseph, obviously we do website design, social media, Google Ads, logo design, and also training. We do physically when we can, and obviously virtually like this today. Oh, I can do the same slide again. Obviously consultancy and mentoring we also do. So what are we going to cover off today? Well, LinkedIn facts and why they're important to understand them. The products that LinkedIn offer. I'm not selling for LinkedIn. I don't get any commissions off LinkedIn, but it's important to know the products that they have. And we're going to go through your privacy settings. So if you've done any training on LinkedIn and not talked about privacy, then you've not been taught very well. You really have to understand that all social media platforms are fundamentally delivered by your privacy settings and what you're doing with your privacy settings. And LinkedIn is no different. The chances are your privacy settings are working against you privately. And so we'll just go through that. Then we're going to optimize your profile, go through things not to do on LinkedIn that can damage stuff. Joining our pod, which is free if you want to, and then we'll do questions and answers at the end. So I'm going to jump in and out of this presentation to show screen and do LinkedIn. So if you've just joined and haven't heard, do open your LinkedIn up in a private tab, and we'll get to that shortly. So launched in 2002 by Reid Hoffman. LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman was part of the PayPal mafia, as he was known. I'm not saying anything against his character, but it's just that's what they're known as. And he then later sold the LinkedIn platform to Microsoft in 2016. And Microsoft paid $26 billion for LinkedIn. $26 billion. LinkedIn was turning over at the time about $2.6 billion per year. So imagine getting paid 10 times your turnover for your business. It's like phenomenal. You know, people often get 5 times their profits or something like that. So they got 10 times their earnings. So interesting. Why was that? Well, Microsoft obviously saw something in the platform that was going to be advantageous to them, and have done a very, very good job in remodeling LinkedIn to what it is today. So 630 million worldwide users, and in the UK there's 22.8 million. Now normally, and I say that normally, in normal times, approximately 50% of those users are active. So over 1 million people will be active. But we have to recognise at the minute there are close to 8 million furloughed workers in the UK at the moment, just in the UK alone, and a lot of countries are furloughing staff. So, I mean, I think those numbers are going to be down by around maybe 30% of active users right now. But the active users are spending more time on LinkedIn, so the opportunity is still to be seen. Is really great because there's less people putting stuff out there, and people that are on there spending more time. So really, really still important. And most of my customers are all getting inquiries through this platform. This is an interesting statistic. 44% of people on LinkedIn use a premium service. LinkedIn actually is remarkably good at giving quite a lot of free stuff away. I mean, when you think of other platforms that are free, LinkedIn gives you a hell of a lot of stuff. But that figure 44%, that's going to be 50% shortly, isn't it? And it's going to keep growing in actual fact. And this is going to give people an advantage. So your competitors with a premium product are going to have an advantage over you. Have no qualms about that, and I'll show you what I mean by that going through. So revenues ending the last year was $6.8 billion, and they actually grew in the last quarter by 30%. So why is that important? One of the reasons why I'm saying these facts to you is because LinkedIn is basically on fire. It's the equivalent of what Google was like 10 years ago now for generating business for B2B. And the rate of growth there, think again, could you grow your company by 30% of your total turnover in a quarter? It's not easy to do. So It's the place to be, and that's why I'm really giving you these facts today. So these are the packages that LinkedIn offer. So basic free, which most of us will know, and then we've got premium career, premium business, sales navigator, recruiter light, and recruiter corporate last time I looked. Now what's the package I actually recommend here to go to, if you choose to go onto a premium package, would actually be Sales Navigator. Okay, it does everything that premium does, but then more. And basically what these packages allow you to do is just get more access to LinkedIn. Those of you that are using LinkedIn a lot and are not paying for a package will find yourself constantly getting blocked by LinkedIn and saying that you've reached your usage figures, and that's because they want you to go onto a premium package. That's how they make their money. So if you're a recruiter, you'll be using one of those recruitment packages. Recruitment companies have been on LinkedIn for years and years, and sort of LinkedIn has got known as a recruitment package, but you know, today it's not. It's about business. Okay, so are you in the right place? If you're thinking about LinkedIn and you're thinking about, I really want LinkedIn to work for my business. Well, these figures from HubSpot. HubSpot is the fastest growing CRM system in the world, the second largest CRM system in the world. 80.33% of their business-to-business leads come from LinkedIn. So if you're thinking about investing time in different platforms and you're a B2B business, therefore you sell to another business that sells on, then, you know, if you've got time as an issue, well, look, you need to be investing time in LinkedIn. This is how good it is. And it's on 91% ranking, as percent ranking from executives as well. So it's the right place to be. And you can see the difference in the sort of number of inquiries that you're getting. So if you're on Facebook and you think, I'm not really getting a lot of leads, you know, you need to be using LinkedIn. So now what I'm going to do is come out of the presentation and go into my LinkedIn and go through these particular settings in your privacy. I actually do recommend that you look at all the settings in here. I'm going to take you through a few of them. I'm just going to admit a few people there. And I'll go on to my profile. Welcome to you guys who've just arrived. You haven't really missed anything. We're just going on to my profile now. So here is my profile. So look up and down. It doesn't look much different to anybody else's really, but what I'm going to show you is how it's different. But what I want to talk to you about initially is this privacy area. Okay, so what does privacy look like? So I'm going to just pull in a guy here that contacted me from some stuff that I was doing in New York. Those of you know me, I'm doing some work into New York now. And we look at this kind of settings here, and you see the connections are light blue. Yeah, that means that I can access those connections. I can see his connections. So if I click in there, I can now look through and see who's connected to. And LinkedIn's encouraging me to do this. Yeah, and this is how LinkedIn grew. So when LinkedIn actually launched, I think 2003, in the June of 2003, by the December, so it got up to 5,000 the first month, 5,000 connections. By the December, it was up by 500,000. And today it's up by 630 million. And the reason is this, because it actively encourages you to connect with other people, so you keep on growing. But the downside of it is that now I can see this client's customers. I can go through and I can see them. So if someone knows you and they know clients that you've got, but they don't know who it is specifically, they can now go and find your contact, your physical contact, and look how easy it is to connect. So you don't want that happening, yeah? We'll just go back to that. So we need to block that out. I'm going to show you how to do that. The other thing that's happening here is it's also saying people also viewed. So if we just go back to my profile, just so you can see. When you look at my profile, it just brings up this sort of stuff. Yeah, just Jack Wills, all that sort of stuff. Nothing untoward. But we're going to Jindy's again. These are people that the algorithm is picking up that could actually be competitors, and it very often is competitors of you that are going to appear, people also viewed. Yeah, so someone might look at my competitor and then decide to come and look at me as well. And then the competitor's appearing here. The competitor just might appear because of the algorithm. So you don't want this list of people appearing, because you're now putting competitors in front of other people. So these two things are really, really important. So how do we change it? Okay, so we click on to me in the top bar, and we go into settings and privacy. And privacy, you can see you've got 4 tabs. Privacy should be the one you're on. And then we can come down here and look at the different areas. Now, I recommend you look at all these type of things. As I say, the default position for LinkedIn with regards to your privacy is that it expands its network. It takes your privacy seriously, but it is going to be doing stuff like we just saw that's going to work against you in some instances. So that first one, who can see your connections? If you click into that, here's the option. Only you or your connections. So I recommend, unless you have a good reason, is that only you can see your connections. Don't let anybody else see who your connections are. Because if you actually connect to someone right now, it will straight away say, oh, here's Joseph's connections. It will just present them to you. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. Only you. And here's the other one I showed you there. Viewers of this profile also viewed. Just click into that, and we want to make that no. Yes, you saw what Jindy's looks like. No is what mine looks like. No competitors in play. The other one I'll show you, so that's your privacy. Once you've dealt with those 2 issues, you're pretty much what I call locked down your profile. Okay, you've locked it down, you've made it safe and secure, so you can crack on and do some stuff. But you also might want to look at viewing options. Again, all these things are personal to you, and how you want to do stuff. And there's pros and cons to each one. And I'll go through this one again. We'll pick this one up later. But this is when you're looking around. So if you're when you're looking around, what can people see? Can people see you looking? I think on the basic package, if you switch this off, you can't see anybody at all looking at you. On the paid packages, I can choose to be seen if I want. I can choose to just have a sort of an avatar, if you like, of me, or I can choose to be completely anonymous. Okay, I always choose anonymous, because if I'm looking at a company and if I'm trying to do business with a company later on, I don't want them thinking I'm stalking them, because they'll be able to see me. So if I just put it anonymous, they can't see me. They may know that there's a member looked, but they don't know who that member is. Okay, so if this is all you took in and you leave the meeting now, it's very valuable. These tips are extremely valuable. They will really, really help. But do go through these other elements. So what you want to consider when you're thinking about LinkedIn is that when you connect to somebody, you give up all your details virtually. If you look at these preset conditions, your email address, your telephone number, if it's all in there, once you connect, you give those up. You don't give them up before connection. So that's why we want to connect to more people, because we gain more knowledge about the person we're trying to get to contact. Okay, so we'll just flip back to my profile. Okay, another little one I'll just throw in here is your URL. So in here, you can see I've got a URL, LinkedIn/Joseph-Riley. Yeah, but that isn't the default position. Most of you will have a 14-digit number or something. So how do you change that? We just go into Edit Public Profile. And then, as with all things in LinkedIn, when you see this little blue arrow, it means we can write here. And I can now change that. Well, I'm not going to change mine, but if you do this now in your own LinkedIn, you can try and put your name in there, hyphenate it in the middle like that, and see if you'll get it. And obviously, if someone's already got that, you won't be able to get that name. So you might want to use it with maybe your company afterwards. So if I couldn't get that, I might have put JCB on the end, something like that, so that you can just get your profile in there. Why is that important? Well, aesthetically, it looks nicer. You know, you've now got, if you share your URL with someone, it looks nice. It's not, doesn't look daft. But also Google use this URL along with other areas. Okay, and I'll just show that to you now. So if I go into Google here, type in my name, we all seeing this okay? Type in my name, then you see I'm coming up from LinkedIn. So if I click on here, I'm back into LinkedIn again, and that's because of that editing that profile. Okay. So I can just come back out of that. Okay. Just going to check just to see if anybody is waiting to come in. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, someone here. Just, and I'll go back in again. Okay, so that's covering off your privacy and your little URL. Nice tips. So what are the important things on your LinkedIn? Okay, so if you're feeling sleepy already, wake up, because this bit you really need to be awake for. Because there's lots of stuff I'm going to show you here, but these next 3 elements are the big bits here that we really need to focus on, okay? And there's 3 elements that will get you connected to more people and get you results as well, significant results. So it's basically this banner. Now you're probably sitting with a banner that's light blue, maybe connected, or you might have changed it already. But this banner wants to line up with the type of messages that you're sending out. So when you're trying to connect with someone, you want to send them a message at the point of connecting, and it wants to line up. So if I'm sending messages out to people talking about LinkedIn, then I've got the banner LinkedIn. If I want to change that, okay, so I click in, there's the area again, LinkedIn, and I want to change photo, and put a replacement photo on your desktop. And let's just say I want to just change it to Joseph Creative. Yeah, I can change the background. Now, why would I want to do that? I probably wouldn't. So, but I might want to make it that we talk about website design. Yeah. And so now I stick a website essentials on there. And I would change that in line with whatever it was I was messaging about. So when I'm messaging people, if you're not doing a lot of messaging, then make sure that what's behind you is what you do. Okay, you cancel that and back to LinkedIn, because I like this LinkedIn one, because I'm messaging about LinkedIn. So if people get here, they know that I'm something to do with LinkedIn, and LinkedIn training and LinkedIn packages is one of the big things that we do here in helping people get more business. So I want to make that clear. The next thing is photo. Have a photo. Yeah, really important. You need a photo. And it wants to be a professional photo, but one that shows a headshot of just you. You don't want all your family in there, although they're lovely. You don't want to have it in this professional network. But you can be a little bit different with it, depending on what you do. But try not to stay too far away from what people expect to see from your industry, because you could get a negative outcome on there. So you can also, here's one to write down. I can put this in the comments. But you can also test your photo through photofeeler.com. So that's photo, P-H-O-T-O, feeler, F-E-E-L-E-R.com, photofeeler.com. And that will actually, for free, you'll get people voting on your photo and rating it compared to what your job title is, and it will do a rating against that. And give you some idea whether you think that's good, bad, or indifferent. And then we come on to the third real critical area. So this is now your name and what I call the $64 million space. This is the window shopping space. This is when people go to your profile. This is what they look at. Now, people might want the profile for different things. You know, a lot of stuff I'm talking about is in relation to company activity, and so it's business related. But you can also think about it if you're looking for a job. And how you might want to shape it differently for people coming. But you can see online, if I ask to connect to you, and 80% of people do this, they go and have a look at the profile. You're probably nodding your heads now. That's what people do. Someone asks for a connection, you go and have a look. Who are they and why are they trying to connect with me? So you've got to get that over in a second. Here I am, this is what I do, and these are the things I do. Do you want to connect with me? And that's what you're giving up. So you can see a lot of people might just put Managing Director of Joseph Creative Business, But you see how now I've brought in our services. Now, why have I done that? Two main reasons. One, what I just said, making sure that people know exactly what it is that we do here. And two, that this is SEO. So this will be picked up by Google. The biggest, obviously the major search engines do it, but we're talking about Google at the end of the day. 97% of all traffic is driven through Google. And so Google looks at these profiles. So it's really important that these words are in there. It's going to help your SEO. Okay, so that's why I say here, these three big things. Everything else I'm going to talk about is important in depending on which markets you're in. So if when you go through this, people, if they're interested in doing business with you, this is how they're going to look at. They're going to look at your profile. They're not going to go running around to your website. They're not. You know, bigger companies will, but SMEs are going to get everything they want from your profile. And so this is going to do all the work for you. So invest some time in it and update it, and you'll get the results from it. Those three key areas. And then providing your services. Put that in there as well. You can see all these areas here to write to are just easy ways of updating it. So in your About Us service, you'll see here, I've put in that I've done work with these retailers, Ford Retail, Nissan, Audi, Autoglass, BAA. What I'm doing is I'm positioning myself that I've worked with large organizations from a sales and marketing perspective, so that people coming to work with me understand my credentials. Yeah, and that's what you need to do with your own service. What's your, not just your experience, but you're trying to get over there. I've worked with these people, and this is what I've done. Make sure it's aligned to exactly what you're doing right now, okay, and not an old sort of feel. So the next area I want to look at really is your dashboard. So the dashboard really gives you an insight into what LinkedIn finds important. You know, in your own business, you might have your own metrics, your own KPIs. This is what this is for you on LinkedIn. So this is what LinkedIn considers important. How many people are looking at your profile in the last 90 days? How many people looked at your last post? Okay, you might have an article in there if you did an article. You might have a video actually in there if you did a video. And then how many times did I appear in a search appearance in the last 7 days? And so something easily missed is this area here, this all star. What that basically means is that my profile is complete. I've filled out all the areas that LinkedIn has asked. So you need to write that down and make a note of this. You do need to complete all the sections that LinkedIn asks you to complete. Otherwise, your profile won't be complete and you won't appear in search engines when people are looking for you. So important. So I'm going to go into these areas and explain them in a bit more detail. So 860 people looked at my profile. So this is a number, in an ideal world, you want to keep climbing up, but we are in COVID-19. So I'm 17% down in terms of the number of people looking, but I'll take that. That's over start of time outside of COVID effectively, before lockdown here, and actually we're here, we're not far away. So I'm keeping nice and steady because I do a steady amount of work on LinkedIn. I don't go crazy on it. It's just one of the arrows that we use in the bow in our business development. But it's a nice little graph, shows you how well you're doing, and if you're like me and you like to keep things monitored, then this is showing you what's going on. If you're on a premium package, either LinkedIn Premium or LinkedIn Navigator or one of the paid packages, you get to see who is looking at you. Now, you know, when I talked about earlier there, the adjustment we made on the profile where I can't be seen, that has a negative effect in some instances, because sometimes people message back you when you actually appear in their profile. So they might say, "Oh, what's this guy doing? What's George looking at me for?" And might actually message you. Sometimes, my view is, it's, it's better to stay anonymous on it. But if people are not on a paid profile or they've chosen to be visible, they're now all going to appear in my feed on a paid package. It's one of the advantages of having a paid package. You can see why people are looking at you. Yeah, and that's one of my competitors. They're looking at me. Yeah, so I can see everybody looking at me. And these may be people I've messaged. There may be people just coming to look at me. So that's covering off that one. Back to the profile, yeah. So the next one is post views. This is really, really important. This is just showing the number of views on my last post. It should actually say last post views. Yeah. And what that tells you about LinkedIn is it puts a lot of weight behind your last post. What does that mean? It means that you don't really, until you really build up a big following and people behind you, you don't really want to be posting on LinkedIn more than once a day, you know, because what you're doing effectively is the minute you put the next post in, LinkedIn starts to run with that post. So it's starting to go with your last post all the time. Unless your post goes viral, then you immediately, the minute you post something new, the post takes over. So if you click in here, this is my last post, showing that I've got a free webinar on Tuesday. You're all invited. 11 a.m. till 12, going through Capsule CRM, 786 views. So that's LinkedIn. That's what LinkedIn is doing. It's looking at your last view. So be very careful about what you do with your posts, because if you share something now, it's going to take the place of this webinar I'm doing now. If I go and share someone's post because I liked what I've seen, it will take over this post, and LinkedIn will then show me the metrics for that. And trust me, your post will start to die. So that post will be dead virtually, unless it starts to trend. That's the only example. But generally speaking, you'll just killed your post. So if you've got a really important post and you want it to run, I actually recommend putting it on a Monday, letting it run through to Wednesday lunch, posting something different, let that run through to a Friday lunch, and post something different again, and let that run through to a Monday lunch. I'm talking about lunch times at the moment because we're in COVID-19 lockdown. Once lockdown is released more and more people are working as normal, then you're looking at the optimum time being around 4:30, 5 p.m. Okay, so I'll just go back to the profile again. And we can talk a little bit more about posts as well, but we're just going through the profile. And so the final part, so you can see how post views, really important, you focus on your last post. Search appearances, this is showing you how many times I appeared in the last 7 days for people searching on these type of things. Fairly self-explanatory. But you can see people looking at, probably trying to sell to me when they do stuff like this, to be fair. But you still want to make sure that you're appearing in searches of people are looking for you from a business perspective. So key things in the dashboard there, just make sure you've got your all-star status. You do want more and more people to look at your profiles. You want your posts to do well. They're the things that I really focus on. Getting more pros, getting more views and profile. Views will be down at the moment. As I say, you've got a lot of furloughed workers, so even post views will be down. So if you're getting higher views than normal, then well done. But people are spending more time on LinkedIn. That is important to mention. So going through here, this is all your experience. So that it's important you update your experience. If you're actually looking for work, it's even more important that your CV and your LinkedIn experience match exactly. Recruiters will be looking for any discrepancy in the dates. Are they correct, and why is there gaps? You know, so they're going to look at your CV and match it to your experience. Businesses are going to try and find out how much experience you've got in what you're doing, and should we be listening to you, and should we take advice on you, and should we work with you. Education, obviously you can have that in or out, that's your choice. Skills and endorsements, you know, show what you do basically. But I'm going to move down to recommendations. So this is an important area. So I just did some work with a lady this week, and before I started, I actually contacted one of her recommendations and asked them how good is she at what she says she's doing. They gave a good recommendation. They would do. They were in the recommending area, the area here, but they're important because people still won't put, you know, their name to something that they don't believe in. And so when you're looking down to see who's giving, you know, who's giving these recommendations, you're starting to think, and do you like the look of what the recommendations are saying? It's giving you a lot of confidence about you as an individual. So how do you request a recommendation? Well, here we are, ask for a recommendation. You just simply click on that. Actually click on the ask, don't click on this bit. If you click on this bit, you'll get whether you want to see it or not. So Dan Russell's given me a recommendation. I can hide it or I can show it. Yeah. You don't want to, so you don't want to click on there. You want to click on ask for recommendation. And here we go. So who do you want to ask? So I'm going to want to ask Raphael, as we spoke earlier. And relationship. Just a Raphael as a client. So select your position at the time. So what company was I in when I want this recommendation? Well, Joseph Creative. And I can just leave that there, pre-written. Yeah, I might be as well, a little bit more polite. And send it off. And actually it says I've already sent that one to Raphael. So Raphael, you've already got it. But that's how you do a recommendation. And that you can send out a number of those to people that you believe are going to give you a good recommendation. Hopefully that's everybody. And that's going, that will then get revised, come back to you to approve, and you approve it and it will appear in here. So recommendations are, as I say, a very, very important part of how people might choose to do business with you. That's all those sort of areas covered off. So let me just take you to, just checking down my list, make sure we've picked up most of the key areas. I'm going to switch you back to the presentation for a second. A couple of people coming in. Okay, so this is the LinkedIn point system. Some of you may have seen this or may not, but this is effectively what's going to get you the best results on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, when we talk about helping people with their posts, we're talking about liking their post and commenting on their post, because likes, whilst they don't look like they score a lot, it's really easy to get a like on your post. So giving people likes helps their points, which helps their growth of your views. So the more likes you can get on your posts and the more comments you can get on your posts, that means you're getting engagement and that will accelerate your views. Okay. Also, what is in your post. So you can see here, LinkedIn particularly likes a video that has quite a lot of words around it. That might be over 300 words. It also likes quite closely a video of short text. So a short video with a little bit of an explanation about what that video is around. So they're the high scoring items that LinkedIn really likes. So if you're doing that type of video content, then LinkedIn is going to give you bigger rewards for your video. Coming out now, it's available now, but you have to apply for it, is live video with LinkedIn. And that will be the maximum that LinkedIn will like that the most because it's the newest feature. So one thing to note here is, you can see here, native video. This is really making sure your video is uploaded to your post, that you upload the video to your post and that you don't bring it in from somewhere else. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that in a few minutes. And so these are the types of things you're doing. So if you're just doing a short form text, there's no image in there at all, then you're not scoring very high. Sorry, just like that. You're not scoring very high. You know, you look at 7.5 points. So you need to be getting images into there, and better still, using video, and you get better results on your posts. The things not to do. So this is really, really important. So again, if you were falling asleep there, this is things not to do, really important. Do not link in any way from your post away from LinkedIn. It will immediately kill your post. So you saw there I had, I don't know, 800 posts close to on that last post, 800 views. If I put a link in that post, it would have dropped to about 150, maybe 200 maximum. Yeah, it would have killed it completely. So putting a link, and if you looked at that post that I did what I should do, let's show it, just to show it, yeah. So I'll stop sharing now. I'm going to show you that post. So here's that post. So you'll see here, click in the comments to register. You can't click and find it in here. If I put it in here, the post would be dead. And that's where typically people would put it. They put the link in here. They create the link from inside the post. You might create it in here, yeah? But if you do that, you'll kill your post. Do not put any links to your website, to YouTube, anywhere in here, yeah? Always put it in the comment line. Let's just see. It's just not showing that to me at the moment. There we go. So you can see here. So the very first comment on this post was me, and there's the link to Eventbrite to get onto this event. Yeah, putting it in the comment line, it doesn't damage the visibility of this profile. So really, really important. If you put a link into your post, you will effectively have just trashed the work you've just done on the post. It will go nowhere. Put the link in the comments, and LinkedIn will not hurt you for that at the moment, okay? And you can put it in there, yeah? Because LinkedIn are trying to keep you on their platform. They want you on the platform, spending more time on the platform. This link takes me away to Eventbrite. Whilst I'm there, I might start looking at other stuff. And now my work with LinkedIn is done. So they don't want to do that. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, when you think of it that way? What you actually want to think about is how you can bring traffic to LinkedIn. But in this sense, we're putting a post up here, and we want to make sure we're putting our links in the comments. Whilst I'm here looking at the posts, if you noticed, you noticed before I opened that up, it showed 3 lines. So these top 3 lines are the most important line in your post. I'm straight away saying I've got a free webinar. Now I might put a question in there. That's another technique. Put a question to the audience, but make sure it's in the first 3 lines. That's what's visible initially before you open up and look more. So you want something, what we call a hook, something to grab someone's attention. Oh, it's a free CRM, it's a free webinar, it's about CRMs. It's enough, if you're interested in that, to open it. Once you've opened it, you can see a bit more. And once you've read it, you know you've got to click in the comments. So it's when it is the time, clicking, it's making it very simple. This is how you want to do your own posts. And then there's a little bit of content. And I'm using an image and not a video, but it's still working well enough for me. So that's what you're trying to measure, just how well these things work. The next one is hashtags. LinkedIn will give you some predetermined hashtags. You can do a bit of research on the hashtags, see which ones work for you. I've picked up 3. The important thing here on things not to do is really to do more than 5 hashtags. People think because people follow hashtags, let's put loads and loads of hashtags into the post, and then it will get to a bigger audience. Yeah, but LinkedIn doesn't like it. So it doesn't like you putting loads and loads in. Our research and the research of some of my peers indicate that you probably shouldn't do more than 5. But what I would do is always get you to test stuff. Like, have a look at it. Don't change too much when you do posts. Change one little thing at a time and see what the effects are. Again, we talk about 5 hashtags as a maximum. 3 is often a typical thing that we do. Okay, so that's posts. Certainly send me any, if you want to talk about any more questions and answers, just put it into the chat software and we'll pick it up. Back to the presentation. So links away from LinkedIn, we've covered that off. Hashtags, we've covered that off. Just repeating, sharing posts. If you've got a post that's doing well and you want to kill that post, share somebody else's post. Yeah, and that will kill your post. So don't share posts is my advice to you. Yeah, unless you're not worried about your last post. So if your last post is doing really well and you share a friend's post because you're a nice person, which is great, you'll just kill your own post. Also, shares really don't do very well. You saw on that points that shares are really frowned upon LinkedIn. It's not like Facebook. LinkedIn doesn't want the constant sharing of the same stuff. Why is that? Because it's actually got a lot of free space. The reason why you're getting thousands of views is because LinkedIn has got a lot of free space for unique content. It doesn't want all the same stuff appearing in its feeds because it's not got enough traction in the marketplace at the moment. Like Facebook, for example, is overburdened with stuff. So it wants you to share. You know, and you'll get good rewards out of that in many cases with Facebook. But in LinkedIn, it's the opposite. Do not share them. Do not share things. It's not good for the person you're sharing it for, and it's not good for your own post. I know it's counterintuitive. So what do? You like it, and you make a comment on it that's more than 4 words, or 4 words or more. It's the ideal comment. So think about that when you do. You want to help someone like their post and make a 4-word comment on it. And this goes back to links again, which I'm not going to go over again, but linking from YouTube. YouTube's a really typical one where you might actually put a YouTube video in there and it's just easy to just share the link because that's what YouTube wants you to do. That's not going to work. You need to upload that video from your own post and post it in. And just finally, we'll cover that off as well, which is links to your website. Use comments. So pretty much come to the end of this presentation, so I'll do questions and answers, but you are welcome to join my pod, Joseph Creative. What does a pod do? A pod is a like group of people that like and comment on each other's articles and posts in order to help them get better views, and that significantly will help. Again, it's businesses that are like-minded, no pressure, and it's no charge. My next webinar is on the 26th of May. It's just disappeared. 26th of May, 11 AM. You know about it. We're on the post line up. I'm not trying to sell it. It's free. And it's specifically actually about Capsule CRM, which is a real nice, nice system. I'll just see if there's any questions, guys, before we come off, and let's go through. Sound a bit echoey, is it, folks? And my apologies for that. It's just maybe this headset. So this is from Amy, and just to clarify, if you're on a paid package, you can remain anonymous but still see who has viewed your profile. Absolutely, Amy. If you're paid, you can be visible or invisible, and you can they can't see you viewing. So, and you will see everybody that has viewed you. So Raphael says, so 3,587 views is not bad. Ah, yeah, that's very good, Raphael. Really good. Really good to get thousands of views. Brilliant. Am I using the free version? Actually, most of what I showed you there is actually free to do. And I think I pointed out every time when you need to pay something like seeing the views, that's a paid activity. The Sales Navigator, I can do a whole, it's a package I'm talking about. It's actually a module by itself, and will be a training session by itself on Sales Navigator. Raphael, where does it show up when you ask for it? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Raphael. Just confirm that for me. Kerry, Joseph, if you had the paid version, you can't see who has anonymously viewed your profile, can you? So I'll just read that again. If you have the paid version, you can't see who has anonymously viewed your profile. No. If someone is anonymously viewing your profile, then you won't be able to see them if they've clicked that within their own privacy settings. If they say they're anonymous, they will remain anonymous. I think the thing is, if you're on a free version, if you go anonymous, you can't see anybody as well. So you go to paid version, you get the anonymity that you require. Julie, thanks for your patience and letting me back in. I tried to watch out, so I had my phone got too hot. Good. Issue in now. Bill, apology, Joseph, live late. Is this recorded? Yes, it is, and it'll be on YouTube. Joseph Riley, it'll be on there for the next 7 to 10 days, as are all the webinars are all going up there now. Raphael's, I think, done the recommendation for me, which is fantastic. Thank you, Raphael. Amy, I was told you'll pay more for the Sales Navigator package, but it doesn't offer much more than the other packages. Is this correct? No, that is not correct. Sales Navigator is a complete game changer in business. Okay, a complete game changer. Anyone that tells you different just doesn't know. It's as simple as that. Okay, I've got clients writing hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of business out of Sales Navigator. Do not upgrade to premium. It will try and make you do that. It almost asks you to do that. Do not do that. Whatever you do, don't even take the free premium option, because you'll get rid of your free navigator option. Okay, Sales Navigator is free for 30 days if you've not taken a premium package. So if you take a premium package, you can't get it for free and trial it. I would really urge everybody to trial Sales Navigator. You're able to investigate so much. You basically get access to Navigate. Sales Navigator gives you access to LinkedIn's database. That's what it does. Okay, so you can look at anywhere in the world. I'm doing business in New York now because last week I decided to go and have a look for people in New York. Why? Because everybody's locked down. So if you want someone that does LinkedIn, that knows about LinkedIn, then I'm going to contact people in New York and I can do business with them in New York because they can't go out the door. They're not going to speak to anybody else. This world we're in, one of the advantages is we're doing a lot more of this Zoom stuff. So obviously you realize that for yourself, but think about your market. You're no longer contained in your market by your physical ability to travel somewhere. You now can go anywhere. So Sales Navigator allows you to pick any city in the world, any headcount of any business, any industry that you want to go at, what position the person holds of seniority, whether they're a director or vice president, whatever, what job title they have. Yeah, so you can go, Amy, you can go at anybody you want for your services. So someone in insurance, for example, so you're selling insurance, you've got insurance packages, who might be interested in, who is typically your decision maker. So that might actually be a CEO of a small business, makes a decision on insurance. So you select companies of a size 1 to 11, maybe even 11 to 25, 50 to 100 type thing. You select those, you go into the decision makers. Let's say it's for as a director, Amy. You select director, and then you hit a button, and every single person that fits your criteria appears. Absolute game changer. So anyone says don't do it, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay. And conversely, if you were looking for a bigger company, Amy, where you go, well, actually, CEOs don't make decisions on insurance on big companies, or who might it be? Okay, well, it might be someone in the commercial, it might be a commercial manager. So you actually then go into job title and you search for commercial managers, and you'll find commercial managers in your sector. You might even have a product, Amy, where you are very good with this product in certain industries, and so you can select the industries as well. So I will do a Sales Navigator webinar in the near future. So if you want to come onto that, just look out for me sending you over an invite, or check my YouTube as well, and I'll go on that. But Navigator is a game changer. Basically, it's like everything. If you're using a free package, you're just getting the basics. Once you get into a paid platform like Navigator, it's brilliant. How much is it? I hear you ask. £58.32 plus VAT if you take it by month. So you can take the free trial and you can immediately cancel the free trial, and you'll still have the trial for 30 days. Okay, so you don't forget. Yes, they're going to get you on the retainer. If you forget, they're going to keep taking £58.32 plus VAT out every 31 days. So you can engage it and then switch it off immediately if you want. So you get it free for a month and trial it. Okay. If you want to know any more about Navigator, you can drop me a message to Joseph at josephcreative.co.uk, and I'll help you out wherever I can. I think that's all the questions, unless I'll just unmute everybody. Anybody wants to shout anything at me, just feel free, to try not to do it all at once. You all okay? You get shy, that's not a problem. Well, okay, look, thanks guys for coming along. As I say, next week we've got CRM, and then I'm going to do some also some webinars just on general webinars with some discussion points that you can cover off, and hopefully you can enjoy those webinars every week.
Great, thank you.
Thanks guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Cheers.
Thank you.